And speaking of which, because I was like, I didn't want to shoot my wad a little too early. Let's talk about Miss Halle Berry. So, there is this documentary that is on Apple TV Plus called Number One on the Call Sheet. I was trying to watch it yesterday, but for some reason, when I went over to Apple TV Plus and I could not find it. And I didn't really feel, I think it was late, so I was feeling a little lazy. So I didn't feel like looking for it because I thought if I just keep scrolling through all the shows and the movies and stuff, it would have popped up. But it didn't. So I just gave up and I just went over and started watching that new sitcom with Nathan Lane and Matt Bomer. Because I'm not binge watching. I just watch like maybe 1 or 2 episodes a day. So anyway, Miss Berry went and appeared over in the documentary and basically was talking about the overall frustrations with Black people, especially Black women, not getting recognized in the Oscar space. So Berry even basically, even though she is an Oscar winner, which is why I feel like what she says holds weight, she advises Black women in the film industry to stop coveting Oscars because they aren't designed for women who look like her to win them. So now in the Apple TV Plus documentary, Number One of the Call Sheet, Berry reflects on what has happened since she won the Oscar back in 2002. I can't believe it's been that damn long. 2000, so that's like 20, what is that? 2002. Well, that's like 20. Wait, so it's been over a decade, well, 2 decades since someone won an Oscar in her category for Best Actress. Like, that's insane. So, yeah, because it's been like 23 years if you think about it, because the Oscars just passed. So, yeah, then she won it for Monsters Ball because she was getting fucked by a racist. And I always say that, yeah, so she had to get her back dug out by a damn racist correction officer for her to get a damn Oscar. Okay, we see, okay, Academy, we see y'all. It's the same thing like with Monique. She had to play like one of the worst mothers on the planet for her to get a damn Oscar. Um, Whoopi Goldberg had to play a caricature, like the comedy relief, in order for her to get a damn Oscar. So when y'all be getting these Oscars, we see how y'all be thinking that we got to be a bunch of damn mammies, we got to be a bunch of damn slaves, we got to be a bunch of damn, we got to always be in those things where we subservient to white folks in order for people to get an Oscar. But I don't want to piss on my leg. But since Halle Berry pissed it in the Oscar bowl, I might as well add a little bit of my urination to the situation too. So she said, it's forced me to ask myself, did it matter? Did it really change anything for women of color, for my sisters, for our journey? The documentary shows a montage of Black actresses losing out to white women at the Oscars. Overall, 13 Black actresses have been nominated for the honor, including most recently Cynthia Erivo, who's been nominated twice. Oh yeah, didn't she? What was the first one? Was it for Harriet Tubman? This year, Erivo was nominated for her role in Wicked, but lost to Honora star Mikey Madison. Viola Davis was also nominated twice for a total of 15 noms for Black actresses overall. That's crazy that she's been nominated 15 times. Wait, they said for a total of 15 noms for Black actresses. Berry says in the documentary that she thought a Black actress had a good chance of winning in 2021. She said, a few years ago, I was at the table with Andra Day, and I was across the room from Viola Davis, and they were both nominated for stellar performances. Day for the United States versus Billie Holiday, and Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I'm glad they put it in there because I was about to be like, so what was they nominated for? Because who can remember back in 2021? Quiet as it's kept. Look, the Oscars came and went like 3-4 weeks ago. I don't even remember what was nominated there. So except they just reminded me Honora did. A Snora did, was nominated, and Mikey Madison won. So they said, and I felt 100% sure that there was the year one of them was going to walk away with this award. For equally different and beautiful reasons, they both deserved it, and I thought for sure. However, Frances McDormand went on to collect her third Oscar for Nomadland. I saw that movie. I was so bored. They said the system is not really designed for us, and so we have to stop coveting that which is not for us. Because at the end of the day, it's how do we touch the lives of people, and that fundamentally is what art is for. Well, here's the thing, Halle, sweetie, darling, light of my life. I have been saying this and shouting this from the rooftops For as long as I've been able to have a microphone and a mouth, I've literally been saying that for the longest. I've been saying that about even this whole thing where everybody's up in uproar over Beyonce not getting country music awards and this, that, and the other. I've always said at the end of the day, fucking award. Who goes around, like, if this is your main goal to run around and think that my aspiration is to win a bunch of awards, okay. But when you die, you can't be buried with them. It's only going to make your coffin much heavier. So what really matters to me is the impact that I make on the lives that I touch, the projects that I do. If I was a musician, the many hearts that I touch through my music and my point of view, that matters more to me than a damn Grammy. Whatever movies that I decide to take on because it challenges me as a performer and as an artist and as an actor, that is more important to me than winning an Oscar. Now, if you want to nominate me and I win, I'm not going to turn it away because I feel like, okay, well, now y'all see me. That's great. Love you all. I thank all the people I need to thank, but this is not the end all be all of my goal. It's like, I'll put it on my mantle. I can look at it every morning, be like, hey, how you doing? Keep it moving. And now it's business as usual. Like, how does this Oscar help me get to the next level as a performer? Whereas I can get certain things greenlit in Hollywood. I can get certain passion projects that I want to get made without pushback. Because white people, the world is yours. The red carpet is rolled out immediately for a lot of the things y'all want to get made. It's kind of like yesterday when I've been hearing people were talking about John Boyega. Well, if y'all have a problem with Star Wars and all this other stuff, why don't y'all make your own things? Well, guess what? At what point, when we do get things made, y'all actually run y'all ass to the movie theaters to support said films that are told from a point of view of a black person or a black queer person or just a queer person of color? When we get those films, do y'all go out and support it? 9 times out of 10, y'all don't. And then at the same time, why should I, as someone who is a Star Wars fan, have to just smile and nod and be like, I'm just so excited to be here. I'm just so grateful to be given this opportunity when it's not really an opportunity. So it's, I get to be what? Background fodder? It's the same thing with, well, y'all had Lando and you had Mace Windu. Okay, but how big of their part was it in the film? They were like just a walk-on cameo in so many ways. Like, and then we had Lando Calrissian. He I said Lance Lando. He basically betrayed Han Solo in an Empire Strikes Back, but then he redeemed himself in Return of the Jedi. But still, you know what I mean. So it's like, how big of a significant role did Billy D. Williams have and Samuel L. Jackson have? Just being in the room and happy to be there is just not enough. I'm sorry. There needs to be some type of, whenever we people who are othered see ourselves on the screen, that we feel like that's a step up to where we've made it, where it's not going to be an issue. But it always feels like it's a step back. But I also feel like when Halle's saying this, that a lot of people of color need to absorb this and stop trying to want that need for white validation. And what I mean for that is, y'all will sit up in here and run up to the Oscars because y'all feel like y'all made it, but y'all be the same ones that ain't got time for the BET Awards, for the Soul Train Awards, and for the NAACP Awards. So, like, many of times when these people run around here and talk about, well, why don't y'all make your own stuff if you don't like it? But then when we make it, y'all bitch and moan about that too. So which one is it? And that's why I feel like, yeah, we need to have our own thing. If they don't want to give it to us, back in the day, that's what we did. When they ain't give us MTV, they created BET. When they ain't give us, our own award shows and all that other stuff, we didn't have like the Grammys and all those other and all that other stuff. We created our own, award shows highlighting people of color. When they didn't want to give the gays an award, now we got the GLAAD Awards, what they just had last week, a couple of days ago. So if they don't want to give us a seat at the table, we got to build it. So I do agree with that to a degree. And I also agree with what Halle had to say here. That it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, this is not really designed for us. This is another thing. And that's like what I was saying about when people getting all outraged over black folks not wanting to join in on all this discrimination that's happening against, in our current administration, where Trump and his people are going after all these migrants who are of Latin descent. And black people, we feeling like we we don't want no parts. Because when we was going through our shit, we was y'all. So we don't feel no way tied. And when it comes to black folks, we could always find ways to be resilient. When y'all don't want to give us something, we will build our own stuff. We will always shuck and jive, and not in a racist way, but we'll always, we'll come up with our new dance. We'll come up with something new and something different and push on, because we've had to be resilient in the times of crisis, because we've come to learn that no matter how hard we fight and no matter how hard we push, a lot of these people don't see it for us. So you get those Negroes out there that sit and try to get that assimilation of whiteness, and y'all keep doing that. But me as a realist, me as a realist, I'm just keep doing what I do and keep moving. I'm not gonna let one pony stop this show, or one monkey, as they say. One little monkey stop this show, Chad. So they said the documentary. They also had Taraji P. Henson and Whoopi Goldberg in there, and said that they expressed incredulity over the lack of Black Best Actress Oscar winners, saying, wait a minute, none of us were good enough. Goldberg asked, nobody, and all of these people, nobody? What are we missing here? This is a conversation people have every year. So I should point out that even though we mentioned that Whoopi did win an Oscar, and for Best Actress, she's one of 10 Black women who have won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Henson has a theory about why there are more supporting actress wins for Black women, which, do I really need to read it? Because they don't see y'all as a lead. They always want y'all being the sidekick, which is taking us back to what I was saying about John Boyega. John Boyega's character, Finn, was set up to kind of be this lead character, and we were excited for it. But then it's like Star Wars, I don't know if it was intentional, probably was, because I know y'all know I have a feeling it was intentional. Y'all probably was listening to all the online haters, and it's probably like 10 of them, but 10 loud people, I guess, exceeds the millions who actually were here for it. I was excited to see where y'all was going to take Finn and Poe's characters and see them kind of be taken on. But then y'all decided to resort to this. Let's make it into this family melodrama with Rey, who is the descendant of the Emperor. And then we had, Adam Driver's character who turned to the dark side. That is the son of Leia and freaking Han Solo. Like, this is what we doing now? Now we doing a freaking, a family therapy session episode in the galaxy. Like, this is what you're giving us instead of giving us the other thing that we wanted. Y'all chickened out. Probably because you have the lack of diversity on set of people who are of color that can write stories about people of color from their point of view. It's what happens when y'all have a lot of white people on set. You don't diversify your portfolio. But I do find it quite interesting that Whoopi Goldberg was willing to say all of this on a documentary, but she be having a different tune whenever they talk about it on The View. It's like all of a sudden she brain turned to mashed potatoes when she on The View. Whenever they talk about Oscar stuff, well, it is what it is, and the people vote the way they vote. That's basically her blanket statement. I be looking at her like, girl, you want to say a whole lot more, but you feel like because you were part of the elite and you're part of that class, you don't want to go in and let have. But you have the energy all of a sudden. Maybe you change your weed intake. I don't know. Maybe you switch from sativa to indica. I don't know, or vice versa. Or maybe you did a hybrid, and maybe that strain had you feeling your hopes. Because I'm sitting there like, well, how are you saying this in there? Now all of a sudden everybody's got, I don't know, whoever directed this, and I need to watch this. I'm like, you really was able to pull a lot of stuff out of A-list stars, because people don't be talking. A lot of times celebrities always want to be diplomatic with their answers. But for them to sit and say this, I was like, I'm truly gagged. So Taraji said, I don't think the industry really sees us as leads, They give us supporting actress awards like they give out candy canes. That just, I don't know. What do you do with that? Because what are you saying to me? Which I've said it many a times earlier. They don't see you as a lead. They want you to support. They want you to support the cast. They want you to be window dressing. They want you to be the sassy sidekick. So they don't see it for us that we have to be the leads. This is why with people who are in these positions of power, like a Tyler Perry, and soon, with 50 Cent with his empire that he's building in Louisiana, his own studio. And then we also have Cat Williams. Like, if you're all going to put yourselves in these positions to be building your own studios and telling stories, we got to move beyond, the ratchet baby mama. We got to move beyond the gang banging type stories. And we really need to diversify our portfolio. Stop selling stereotypes to our community and show these people that don't want to give us a seat at the table what type of stories can be told. So I'm hoping that we get to see that with Cat Williams. I don't necessarily know if we'll be able to see that with 50 Cent. I would like to see Tyler Perry diversify his portfolio, but he keep giving us the same old coonery and buffoonery he been giving us. Women in distress, bad acting, bad writing, bad camera shots, and y'all keep eating that shit up like it's yesterday's Cheerios. So there was another thing I wanted to bring up too that I was like, that I thought was an interesting idea. I think it was from number one on the call sheet. It was like, there seems to be a lot of tea coming out from this series, and I want to check it out. So Eddie Murphy revealed in an interview that Sidney Poitier advised him not to star in Malcolm X, because I did not know he was supposed to be in that movie. And they said that it was going to be put together by Poitier's In the Heat of the Night director Norman Jewison before Spike Lee took over and cast Denzel in the lead role. So I'm wondering if he was actually going to play the lead. And he said that they said they approached him about playing Alex Haley, who wrote Roots and Alex Haley's Queen, who actually Halle Berry was in that. I don't know if y'all seen that. That was like when she played the biracial slave. When the slave slept with her mom, the master slept with her mama, and they had a little half-breed child. So, yeah, he basically said that he was supposed to play Alex Haley. He bumped into Sidney Poitier and asked him, he said, I'm thinking about playing Alex Haley. And Sidney said, you are not Denzel Washington. You are not Morgan Freeman. You are a breath of fresh air, and don't fuck with that. And you want to know something? I know a lot of y'all will be taken aback, because Eddie did say that he didn't know if it was an insult or a compliment. But if you really look at it, it's like he's saying, lean into your strengths. But to me, I'd have been like, okay, I'll play the game for a little bit. Like, I'll just not do the film. But then again, I don't like when people tell me no. So what I would have did was I'd have been like, I'm going to prove your ass wrong, and I'm going to actually put in the work so that way I could show that I could play the hell out of this serious role. Because when you look at a Sidney Poitier, who's one of the icons of all icons in regards of Black actors, if somebody was to tell him, stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to and just do drama and don't even try to be a comedian, how would you take that? Like, to me as an actor, I would want to be diverse, unless you're one note like a Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But I think comedians, to me, in that concept, they're the most, I think they're the ones who can be the most dramatic and play the dramatic roles because of their comedic background. Like, it's a place of pain and hurt. So I could definitely see why some comedians, when you look at it, they surprise a lot of people when they go and they play those serious roles if they've been a comedian. We've seen it many times. Even Adam Sandler in that movie that he did with Julia Fox. People were surprised when he did that film and how he just sold the hell out of playing the drama in that. So I don't think that you should have. I mean, on one hand, I get it. You say stick to the rivers and the lakes. You're different. We don't want you to be up in there. It does feel a little shady the way he said that. But I'm like, if you got the ability when you want to prove somebody wrong and be like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna go and play this. I'm going to go and give you this drama. I'm going to show you that I can do drama better than your behind. Then I'd say that challenge accepted. So I feel this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Have you seen number one on the call sheet? Do you agree with what Halle Berry had to say? And also, since I did add that in the last second, do you agree with the advice that Sidney Poitier gave Eddie Murphy back when he was going to be in Malcolm X, which I had no idea he was going to be a part of that? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.